focus on the use of the scientific calculator to solve for questions from the 2019 April-May Maths objective paper, and we are doing this so that we can prepare you for excellence in your exam. There are a number of questions that in trying to attempt them, you don't really need to sweat working and calculating, trying to find out the answer all by your own effort. If you are smart, there is a way to use your calculator either to confirm the calculations that you have done or to outrightly use the calculator to find the answer to these questions, particularly in the objective paper. So that's what we are going to be doing today. We are going to be covering indices, logarithm, statistics, trigonometry. We are going to be using the calculator to solve for how to find variables in quadratic equations, simultaneous equations, and it is just packaged for you to gain that academic excellence. What we want you to do, if you are here to subscribe to our channel, is just take a minute. It is free of charge. Click on that subscription icon, click on the notification bell so that anytime we're uploading our video. So here in question number 2, we're having a question on indices, and we are to evaluate 0.064 raised to power minus 1 over 3. The keylog here is going to be showing all the things I'm going to be pressing on the calculator so you can easily follow along. But as a rule of thumb, before you always start calculating anything, it is best that you first clear your calculator. And to do that, all you need to press is to press Shift 9. Shift 9 is to clear the calculator, the setup, or the memory, or all. I want to clear all, so I press 3 and equal to we amount to yes. Then I'll press AC to reset all. So now I know that my calculator is set to the default settings, and if I check the mode, I'm on the computer mode, that is 1. So I can go ahead and try and solve this question. So what you have is 0.064 raised to power minus 1 over 3. I'll try and put it exactly as it is expressed in the question. So I open my brackets, then 0.064, I close the bracket, raised to power minus 1 over 3, I will be x raised to power button, okay? So I want to put a fraction, so I can say minus the fraction here, this is the fraction button, okay? Minus 1, then I will go to the denominator 3. And I need to confirm, am I getting the question as it was given to me exactly into the calculator? Yes, all I need to do now is just to press the equal to sign. And you can see, out of the options that we are given, that means option A is the correct option, 5 over 2. That is done and dusted. Let's move on to our next question. So in this question number 3, we are told to solve y plus 1 over 2 minus 2y minus 1 over 3 is equal to 4. Instead of y as a variable of the unknown, I'm going to be using x because x is a variable that the calculator perfectly understands to solve for whenever it's evaluating equations. So I'm going to be using x in place of y, and I want to see what is going to be the value for this y in this question. So I'm going to input the fraction in the first place because this is a fraction. We're having y plus 1 as numerator over 2 as the denominator. So I'm going to press x plus 1, and to get x, I will use alpha close bracket, and you can see that is x plus 1. Now I'm through with the numerator. I will press the forward button to go to the denominator, which is 2, and then press the forward button to input the negative sign here, minus. So this minus, again I'm having another fraction, so I press the fraction button, 2y minus 1, but I know that is 2x, and to get x is alpha close bracket minus 1, and I'm dividing by 3. Okay, so I go out of that fraction, and I need to input this equality sign, but I cannot use this equality sign because if I press that, it will try to evaluate the solution to what I've input in the calculator. I want to use this equal to on top of the calc button, and since it is written in red, I just press the alpha calc, and you can see that is amounting to equality sign, and I can still input whatever value I want. I want to say it is equal to 4, so I press 4, and I need to check, do I get everything correctly? If that's the case, I can now solve for x, and to solve for x, I press the shift calc, which is equating that I'm trying to evaluate the solution I'm solving for x. The initial value, I don't want it to be minus 8, I want it to be 0, because here I'm having negative 29, positive 29 as the minimum and the maximum values. I want to start from 0, so you can either go to the positive or the negative numeral. So I can press equal to, and you can see the calculator is telling me that the solution to this question is that my unknown is minus 19. That means B is the correct option. Y is minus 19. Is the calculator not interesting? It is interesting. Here in question number 4, we are to simplify correct to 3 significant figures 27.63 raised to power 2 minus 12.37 raised to power 2. So let's input that directly into the calculator. We have 27.63 raised to power 2 minus 12.37 raised to power 2. So checking to confirm that there is no mistake, you can just press the equal to sign, and we can see here it is being expressed in fractions. To convert to decimal, we use standard to decimal button, and if I press that, you can see this is 610.4. But we are asked to get that correct to 3 significant figures, and looking at all these options, we can see that option D, 610, is what we get when we round up 610.4 to 3 significant figures. 4 will be rounded down to 0, and adding that to 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. So we have 610, and option D is the correct answer. So here in question number 7, we are to evaluate log to base 3 of 9 minus log to base 2 of 8, all divided by log to base 3 of 9. We are going to input this in the fraction of the calculator, and then input the logarithmic function in the right placement. So here is a fraction, and at the numerator we have log to base 3, and so we use this log, and the base is 3. Then we can go to the value we need to input, which is 9, and then we can go out of that logarithm to input the negative function. Again, we have log to base 2, but we are finding log to base 2 of 8, and then we can go to the denominator and input the value for that, which is log to base 3 of 9. And then looking at the equation, we want to ascertain that we didn't make any mistake. That's always a very good thing to do, to check that we're on the right track. And once that is confirmed, we can just press the equal to sign, and the answer is here, minus 1 over 2, meaning that option D, minus 1 over 2, is the correct solution to this question. Here in question number 10, we are to evaluate 2 root 28 minus 3 root 50 plus root 72. We are going to put that directly into the calculator. So we have 2 multiplied by root 28. But if I want to press another entry, that will still continue to input value for this square root. So I need to come out of that square root and press minus 3 multiplied by root 50. Then I come out of that root plus root 72. Okay, so all I just need to now do is press my equal to, and is the calculator not interesting? Look at the format in which it's even presenting my answer. It's also writing them in a short format. So I have 4 root 7 minus 9 root 2, and I need to look through my options. I can see 4 root 7 minus 9 root 2 is option C. So option C is the correct answer. So here in question number 11, we are told that if m ratio n is equal to 2 ratio 1, we are to evaluate 3m squared minus 2n squared, all divided by m squared plus mn. We don't have m and n on the calculator, so I'm going to use x for m and y for n. So that means that x can be equivalent to 2 and y can be equivalent to 1. So that's what I'm going to input on the calculator. And here I'm going to input this as a fraction, because you can see it's a fraction with numerator and denominator. So I'm having my fraction here. 3m squared will amount to 3x squared. So I'm saying alpha close bracket for my x raised to power 2 minus 2n is my y. So I'm using alpha SD button to input the function of this y, then raised to power 2. Since I'm through with the numerator, I can now go to the denominator, m squared plus mn. My m is x, so I'm saying alpha close bracket for x raised to power 2, okay, plus mn, that will be xy. So alpha close bracket and alpha xd button. I will confirm with what I have here. I can see that I'm on the same page. Correct without any mistake. So I can just say I want to solve for this, and I'm going to use the calc button. So first, it's asking me for the value of x. What is the value I want to use for x? X is synonymous to m, and since this is a ratio, I can say x, which is m, is 2. So I'll put 2 and press the equal to sign. And asking me for the value of y. Y is n, which is synonymous to 1. I can say y is 1, and then I can press the equal to button. And here, the calculator is solving this and telling me that the solution is 5/3. And looking at the options, you can see option B is 5/3, and that is the solution to this problem. Question number 13 here is giving us a quadratic equation that we need to solve to find the roots of the equation. And the calculator has a mode for quadratic equation, so we need to press the mode button and we need to go to the equation, and you can see 5 is amounting to equation, so I press 5. Then what format of the equation are we working with? Look at the option number 1, that is simultaneous equation in 2 variables. Option 2 is simultaneous equation in 3 variables. Option 3 is a quadratic equation of degree 2. So I'm going to press 3. So here it's telling us a is the coefficient of s squared. So I need to input the value for a, which is 4. Okay, and I can press equal to b is the coefficient of x, and here it is minus 16, not 16. This is minus 16. So I press minus, that's the minus button, minus 16, and then I press equal to. And you can see A is 4, B is minus 16, and C, the constant, is 15. So I will just press 15, and being through with that, I can just confirm that all the values I input are correct, and I'm okay with that. I'll just press equal to button, and here it's giving me the first value of x, that's x1, to be 5/2. 5/2 is the same as 2 whole number 1/2. So that means that of all the options that I'm having, is either going to be this, that is having 2 whole number 1/2 as a positive entry, and even all the others, they are not having 2 whole number 1/2. So I'm suspecting option B as my answer already, but let me check the other roots. So x2 is 3/2. 3/2 is the same as 1 whole number 1/2. So definitely option B is the correct option. 1 whole number 1/2 or 2 whole number 1/2. If you try and solve this question with the factorization method, you will see that you're not going to be able to solve it unless you use the formula method. And for most students, I know that's an equivalent task. So using the calculator is going to simplify your work, and the correct option here is option B. In this question, we are to evaluate 0.42 divided by 2.5, all divided by 0.5 times 2.05. But in our previous question, we were working with the simultaneous equation, and we changed the mode of the calculator. And that's why I always say that before you start, always make sure that you put your calculator in the correct mode. In this case, I want to put it in mode 1, or you can reset. So let's put it to mode 1. So I press the mode button, and 1, that is the computer mode. So having done that, I want to clear the log so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I've cleared all. So I want to input this expression into the calculator. It's also a fraction, and we have a playlist on fraction where you can learn how to solve questions on fractions with the scientific calculator. You can check that out on the link that's being flashed, or in the link shown in the description below. So here, I want to press my fraction, and then on the numerator, I have 0.42 divided by 2.5. That's all there is to the numerator, and I press the forward button to go to the denominator, and I have 0.5 times 2.05. And to check that I'm correct, I'll just check what I'm putting into the calculator with what I was given in the question, and I think I'm okay. So I can press the equal to sign, and here it's giving me fractions. I want to convert that to standard form, but first let me take it to decimal, and you can see that this is as expressed in decimal. But look at the options we are given, they are all in standard notations, and so for me to do that, this ENG button is asking that do I want to put it in engineering format. If I press that, you can see this is 163.9 exponent minus 3. but I want it as 1, so I can press that again. Though it's increasing the numerals, the decimal place, I want it to go back, so I can press Shift ENG, again Shift ENG. Now this is 0.163 times 10 raised to the power 0, meaning that if I move this decimal place from this location to the 1, this will be raised to power minus 1 because I move it to the right, and then I have 1.639 times 10 raised to power minus 1. So which of that corresponds to the correct thing? That is option C, 1.639 times 10 raised to power minus 1. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Here in question number 15, we are to simplify log to base 10 of 6 minus 3 multiplied by log to base 10 of 3 plus 2 over 3 times log to base 10 of 27. All are expressed in log 10, so we can use the normal log button here on the calculator and try to evaluate what we are going to solve for. I can clear my key log so that you can see what I'm going to be pressing, and I need to be in mode 1, which is the computer, that's mode 1, and then I can input this value, log 6, let me close that bracket, minus 3 log 3, okay, I can close that bracket again, then plus, here I have the fraction 2 as the numerator, 3 as the denominator, then log 27, log 27. I can close the bracket and check to see that all that I input are correct. And once I'm true and convinced with that, I can press the equal to button. And here I'm having 0.30102999. Now this is the value that I'm looking for, 0.3010. So I need to check each of the options that were given to see which corresponds to what I just got as the answer here. So in the first option, I'm having 3 log 2. You can see this is 0.9. That is not what I'm looking for. In the second option, log 2, this is 0.30102. And I think this is going to give us the right answer. But just to check, log 3, that's 0.47717, then 2 log 3, 2 log 3, close the bracket, 0.9424. Again, the option B, log 2, that's 0.3010, and if I'm to trace back to look at my equation, you can see it's the same as the answer to the simplification of the whole equation that we are given. So definitely the correct option here is option B, log 10 2. Okay, log to base 10 of 2. So option B is the correct answer. Here in question number 17, we are told that if 3p is equal to 4q and 9p is equal to 8q minus 12, we have to find the value of pq. Note what we are requested to find. It is the value of the product of p and q. And looking at these two expressions that we are given critically, you can see that they constitute a set of simultaneous equations if you rewrite the equation. So that's why I wrote the equation here to have equation 1 as 3p minus 4q is equal to 0, and then equation 2 as 9p minus 8q, when 8q moves to the left hand side, is equal to minus 12. So these are the set of simultaneous equations that we need to solve with the scientific calculator. And to do that, we need to go to the equation mode of the calculator. So here, the mode 5 is for equation. And looking at this format, we can see that it corresponds to 1, which is the coefficient of x multiplied by x plus the coefficient of b multiplied by b is equal to the constant. N means that we take an iteration from 1 to whatever it is. But here in this case, it is 2. Okay, that's why we call it simultaneous equations. So I can just press 1, and then in the first equation, a, b, and c, a is the coefficient of the first variable, b is the coefficient of the second variable, and c is the constant on the other side. So here, I'm having the coefficient of P as 3, so I press 3, and then I press the equal to sign. The coefficient of the second variable is minus 4, not 4. Putting 4 will give us a wrong answer, so I need to put minus 4. So here I say minus 4, and I press equal to, and C in this case is 0, so I press 0, and I press equal to. Now moving on to the second equation, 9 is the coefficient of the first variable, so I have 9. Minus 8 is the coefficient of the second variable, so I have minus 8. And minus 12 is the constant, so I have minus 12. I can check to ensure that all that I put into the equation, they are correct, and if I'm okay with that, I'll press equal to. Now, the equation is being solved on the calculator with respect to variable x and y, and that's why it's saying that x is minus 4. In this case, it is P that is corresponding to x, so P is minus 4, and if I press equal to again, y, which is corresponding to q, is minus 3. But what we have to find is PQ, meaning that the product of the roots, and that will be minus 4 multiplied by minus 3. Minus times minus is plus, 4 times 3 is 12. So the solution is A. 12 is the answer to this question. Here in question number 18, we are told that if 0.25 raised to power y is equal to 32, we are to find the value of y. But in our previous calculation, we are working with the equation mode, and that will not be suitable to solve this. To solve this, we need to be in the computer mode, so I'll press the mode button, and 1 is corresponding to computer, so I press 1, and then I can impute my equation correctly. As a rule of thumb, I use x as the default variable for the calculator, so I can say 0.25 and close my bracket, then raise to power the variable I'm using x, and that will be alpha, close bracket button. Okay, then I want to input the equality sign, not this equal to sign, the equality sign. I can press forward to go out of that power, then the equality sign will be alpha calc, and that is equal to 32. Now, seeing that I got all my input correctly, I need to solve for this, and for me to solve for that, I will press shift calc, which is asking me to solve. It also take the initial value as 2. I want it to start from 0, and then I can press equal to, and the variable is being evaluated as minus 2.5. Looking at the options that we are given, minus 2.5 is corresponding to minus 5 over 2, because that is the fractional notation for minus 2.5, which is in decimal. So the correct option here is option A. This is the power of the calculator. Option A is the correct answer. So here in question number 23, we are told that if 2 raised to power A is equal to 64 and B over A is equal to 3, we are to evaluate A squared plus B squared. Again, the variables I'll be using will be X and Y. X for A and Y for B. But looking at this equation, we can see that we can relate B and A. From here, if we cross multiply, you can see that B will be equal to 3A. So I can say my Y is equal to 3X. And from this first one, I'm going to solve for X. So let's input our equation into the calculator. I'm going to have 2 raised to power X alpha close bracket. Now we'll come out of the power to press the equality sign alpha calc. That is equal to square root of 64. Then I can check to see that I can go ahead to solve for X. And to do that, I'll press shift calc. I want to solve for X taking 0 as the initial value. I'm okay with that. And I'll press equal to. So the value of X is 3. X is 3, right? Now you can see that I use the shift calc to evaluate the value of X. But how do I get my Y or my B is equal to 3A or Y is equal to 3X? This is how I'm going to do that. I'm going to write another equation, alpha SD button, that is Y, that is equal to 3x, so this 3x. But now I'm not going to solve for this function. I'm only going to calculate, because already the calculator is retaining the stored value of the x that we have just evaluated, and so it will use that to compute the value of y. Remember, x was gotten to be 3. 3 times 3, I know that is 9. So let's see if that will be what we are going to get. I'll just press the calc button, take the value of x to be 3. I'm okay with that. I press equal to, and you can see that y is equal to 9. So I've been able to get my a and b. A, which is x, is 3, and y is 9. But what we are asked to get is a squared plus b squared. So I'm going to just say x raised to power 2 plus y raised to power 2. And if I press the equal to sign, you can see my answer is out for me. And that is saying the correct option out of all these options is option C, 90. So a proficiency in the use of this calculator and the ingenuity of how to work with the calculator can really help you to solve even this type of questions. And our answer here is option C, 90. Here in question number 25, we are told that if log to base x of 2 is equal to 0.3, we should evaluate log to base x of 8. Initially, we are calculating with respect to variable x, and that means that some stored value had been stored in x, but we need to clear that so that the calculator will not be using that to evaluate what we are going to solve for now. So I'm going to clear my keylog, and I'm going to clear the memory and setting of my calculator. That's sheet 9. I'll press 3 to clear all, equal to yes, and AC. I've reset my calculator. Now I want to input this equation into the calculator. Log to base x of 2 is equal to 0.3. If I solve this, I can find the value of x, which I can just use to evaluate this log to base x of 8. So let me solve this first equation. I have log to base x. So here is base x, but it is 2, and this is given as being equal to 0.3. Okay, then I need to solve for x. I will use shift calc. That is, I will solve for x. So it wants to solve for x, taking the initial value as 0. I'm okay with 0 as the initial value. I can press the equal to sign, and here you can see the calculator is taking some time, and it's giving me that x is equal to 10.0793684. I don't need to retain this and try to press it into the calculator again. Now, this is the value that the calculator is taking as the value for x. All I just need to do is to input that into log to base x of 8. And if I even write x, the calculator will take this value as value. So let's just go ahead to do that. Now, I want to evaluate log to base x of 8. Okay? But I know the calculator already know the value of x. So all I just need to do is press the equal to sign. And you can see, as easy as that, it's saying it is 9/10. Looking at the options, they are written in decimal. I have this in fraction. I can press this button, S to D, to convert to decimal, and that is 0.9. So the correct option is option C, 0.9. So here in question number 37, we are given that if tan x is equal to 3/4 and x is a value between 0 and 90 degrees, we are to evaluate cos x over 2 sin x. Now, we will solve this just directly with the calculator. We are going to input this. We need to know that our operation of degrees is in place and not radians or any other one. So this is degrees, and we are good to go like that. So we can say tan x is equal to 3/4. So here is tan x. I will close that bracket. That is equal to 3/4 as a fraction. So 3 as numeral and 4 as the denominator. Okay, 3 as the numerator and 4 as the denominator. So having done that, we are to evaluate cos x over 2 sin x. But first, let's find the value of x. And to do that, we use the shift calc, which is solve. This is the initial value for x that we are taking, that we have been using in our calculation, but I want it to start from 0. I want the iteration to start from 0. Then I can press equal to, and here it is giving me that the value for x is 36.86989.765 degrees. Now, that is okay by me. I'm not going to do anything to x. I will just now input the value of cos x over 2 sin x for the calculator to evaluate all by itself. So I'm going to say I'm having a fraction, cos x is the numerator, and then 2 sin x is the denominator. So let me also close the bracket for the numerator there. Okay, so cos x over 2 sin s, and I can just press equal to, and directly the calculator just solve this, retaining the value of the x that it evaluated from tan x is equal to 3 over 4. It's not telling me that cos x over 2 sin s is nothing but 2 over 3. And looking at our options, you can see that is option D, 2 over 3. And now with question number 42, we have come to statistics from our questions. And here we are told to calculate the variance of 2, 4, 7, 8, and 9. All we need to know is that variance is actually the square of the standard deviation. So if we can get the standard deviation, definitely we can get the variance, because once we get the standard deviation, we can just raise it to the power of 2, and that will give us variance directly. So let's go to our calculator, but now we are working with statistics, so we need to go to the statistics mode, and by pressing the mode button, we can see 3 is corresponding to statistics. So I'm going to press 3, and then in the first option, I'm going to put in a 1 variable for all the values that I have, and of course here I'm having just a single variable. So I'm going to press 1, and like this I can input the value of the variable which the calculator is terming as x. So in the first case I have 2, I'm going to press 2, and then I press equal to, and you can see it's asking me for the second value. I have 4, I'll press equal to. I have 7, I'll press equal to. 8, I'll press equal to. And 9, I'll press equal to. So those are the 5 values that I have. And once I'm through, I'll press the AC key. If you don't do that, you may be mistaken to just press another button, and the calculator will take that as if you are still continuing to input values of the variables. So here we have our variables, and we now need to go ahead to find the standard deviation from where we can find the variance of the calculator. To do that, we need to press the shift 1. On top of 1, you can see that we have statistics/distribution. We want to make use of the statistics, but we still need to make use of shift 1. So I'm pressing 1 now, and here these are the options that are available for me. Is it that I'm looking for a type, a data, a sum, or a variance? Okay, now I want to look for variance, and that is 4. So I'll press 4, and you can see the option 3. This is the sign for the standard deviation. If I press 3, then the calculator will be looking for the standard deviation of the value that I input. So I'll press 3, and I'll press equal to. So the value of the standard deviation is 2.607680962. But the question did not ask me to find the standard deviation. I'm asked to find the variance. So to get the variance, I just need to find the square of the standard deviation. So I will say my answer raised to power 2. No, not that. Answer raised to power 2, and I can say press the equal to, and that is 6.8. And looking at all the options, 6.8 is in option B, and that is as good as done. The calculator is really interesting. Option B is the answer here. So these are the last set of questions from the objective paper of 2019 WAEC April-May mathematics exam, and we are to find the mode of the distribution, the median score, and the number of students that scored above the mean score in this set of values, which are the scores obtained by some students in a test that we are given. Alright, so first, to find the mode, we really don't need the calculator for that. We just need to look at the particular score that occurs the most among all of these. And if you are looking at that critically, you can see that here we have 13, we have 13, and we have 13. So we have 13 in 3 places. That means 13 is the mode of the distribution because it is the one that is occurring in the most frequent number of times. The next one, we can see 18 in 2 places and 8 in 2 places, but we can see 13 is featuring in 3 places. So 13 is the mode. We don't have issue with that. Now let's find the median score of this particular scores obtained by students in the test. We need to go to the statistics mode, so we'll press mode 3, okay, and then we need to input these values. We just press 1, and we need to input all these values as they are presented. I don't want to do group data. I don't want to bring in frequency. Let's just take them straight as we are given. So in the first case, we have 8. I'll press equal to 18 equal to 10 equal to 14 equal to 18 equal to 11, 13, 14, 13 again, 17, 15, 8, 16, and 13. Immediately we are through, we can just press the AC button, and so the calculator are taking the value for the data that we're inputting it from the scores obtained by students in the test. But now we need to evaluate the median score. So we press Shift 1 button and look at this option 6, the one that is asking us, that wants to prompt us to go to the minimum and maximum value. So I'm pressing 6, and here the option 4 is the median. So I will just press median, which is 4, and I'll press equal to, and directly the calculator is calculating the median of this set of values as 13.5. So the correct option in number 49 is option C, 13.5. Okay? And then finally, in number 50, we are told that how many students scored above the mean score. To know the number of students that scored above the mean score, that means we need to find the mean score and now look at all the numbers that are greater than the mean score. So already we have input our data values into the calculator. We just need to evaluate the mean score. And to do that, we press Shift 1, okay? And now looking at all of this, we are seeing that we have type, data, sum, variance, distribution, normals. We need to go to the variance, okay? Let's go to option 4. And we can see the option 2. If you press 2, that means we want to find the median, which is x with a bar on top of it. So if I press 2 and I press equal to, the calculator is telling me that the median score in the set of data that was given is 13.4. So to get the number of students that scored above the mean score, we need to look at those that scored above 13.4. So on the first row, we have 18, 1, 14, that's 2, 18 again, that's 3, 14 in the second row, that's 4, 17, that's 5, 15, that's 6, and 16, that is 7. So the number of students that scored above the mean score is 7, option D. And you can see how the calculator had helped us to also evaluate correctly the answer to this statistical question. And with that, we have come to the end of this exercise of using our calculator to solve questions for us without breaking a sweat. We didn't take any pen or paper or biro to calculate the solution to any of these questions that we have solved. And if you are looking at that, you see that this is a whole lot of questions that we have solved. In short, that constitutes a high percentage of the total questions that we have. Meaning that if you can build this proficiency in the use of your calculator, your work is going to be quite easy for you. That academic excellence that you are aiming for is already something that is achievable because you are prepared proficiently on how to tackle these questions with the use of the calculator.